as I expected it to go. Well, I did a lot of thinking about what I was going to say, and anyone that knows me knows I'm not kind of a speak from the heart kind of guy. I like to write like a long, drawn-out plan, so bear with me. Hopefully no one's in a rush. But I thought a lot about what my dad would want, and I think that's about the amount of crying that he would want that we just had. And I think he would want people to laugh and to remember some of the jokes and some of the lighthearted moments in his life. So I'm going to do that. They say when you're a jet all the way. It's a show tune for those of you that think I'm gay. I'm not gay. But when you're a Tory, there's literally nothing you can do about it. What does that mean, you ask? Well, here's a 7-part field guide to being a Tory. Let's start with the obvious physical traits. A zigzag hairline with widow's peaks and cowlicks that run free. In the Tory family, we are born with bedhead. Dad had almost all of his hair left, but none of it agreed with each other. Ugly toes. Oh God. The Tory toes. If you haven't seen Tory feet, envision what an eagle talon would look like if the eagle worked waiting tables at a diner 7 days a week in shoes that were completely not sensible. My dad had the most wonderful Tory feet of all time. If you're a Tory and you have beautiful feet, you were adopted. I'm sorry you had to find this out today on Google, but trust me, you were adopted. You can stay for the rest of the service, but you're not one of us. The last physical trait was big ears. Truth be told, those were handed down from my namesake, our Papa, Tony DeTore. But not a lot of people know this. His ears were the inspiration for DirecTV. And trust me, our big ears are strictly for show, because DeTores can't hear a friggin' thing. I said, we can't hear a friggin' thing. Okay, the second thing. You know the saying, stubborn as a mule? Well, it's actually pronounced mule, which is Italian for everyone in my entire family. If you know a DeTore, you've been witness to this stubbornness, and I deeply apologize. Here are a couple Gus stories that will explain to you how stubborn we can be. One time playing golf, Dad came across a bush of berries. Very, very poisonous looking berries. And he told, I think it was Don or John Scadia, that they were blueberries. And they said, Gus, those are not blueberries. Those are very poisonous berries. And my dad said, if they were blueberries, if they were poisonous berries, could I do this? And plucked a few berries off and ate them. They were not blueberries. Another time we were in a restaurant, he said to my mom, that wine glass is made of plastic. She said, that clearly is made of glass, Gus. He said, no, it's made of plastic. If it was made of glass, could I do this? It was made of glass. We had to clean the glass off of everyone and off of the table. The third step to being a DeTore is having a type A personality. Those of you that know me know this. That was the ultimate type A personality, and like his old cars, he handed those down to us. He was hardworking, ambitious, impatient, taking on more than he can handle, constantly waiting for other people to get to the point, a perfectionist, competitive. That's all of us. But he was such a great leader. At Duncan and at Ocean Edge, and in our family, when you combine his type A personality with the smarts and the charm, he was really able to connect with people. And he did it like no one else. Fourth, if you spent any amount of time with a DeTore, you'd probably think that our favorite pastime is drinking. Scotch, wine, Barbara's famous tubfuls of sangria, but not so fast. Drinking is second, eating is first. So much so that the term gustatory means enjoying food, or something that tastes great. That's what the word gustatory means. This is not a joke. You probably know someone who is a vegetarian, but Detories, we are vegetarians. We don't believe in vegetables, and we put salt on our pizza. Fifth step to being a Detory is sarcasm and ball busting. Some of Dad's classic lines include, after I got my ears pierced, he would say regularly, "How are my 3 girls doing?" Or anyone that has stayed at the Cape knows that he'll say things like, "The room rates go up after the 2nd night," or "Are you leaving soon?" Or the much less subtle flickering of the lights to get people to leave the house. He also had great ones like, "Did they sell men's clothing where you got that?" And when Barbara has too much wine and too big of a glass, he would say something to the effect of, "Isn't there usually a goldfish in something that's nice?" And one of his most classic ones was telling one of the talkative employees at Dunkin' Donuts if that was her original set of lips. She was very talkative. Sixth is having a big heart. This comes in many forms. One is talking to complete strangers, which my buddy CJ does a lot. He would talk to the waitress and say things like, "What's your name in case we need to complain later?" Or, "You're doing a great job, I wish we weren't such terrible tippers." This was pretty much every meal out throughout my entire life. And he would also do this when he saw an older woman with her daughter. He would say, "Are you 2 sisters?" Which I always thought was such a kind thing to do. Having a big heart also means showing emotion. This one took a while for Dad, but in the last 15 to 20 years, especially since he got to love Barb, he became a sap. And even more so when his cherished grandkids, Landon and Tate, came along. There was not a conversation any of us had with him in the last handful of years where he didn't say, "I love you," or he didn't cry. And the third part of this, having a big heart, is being a good friend. The way you can tell if someone's a good friend is to see how many good friends they have. And my dad had tons. Many of you are here today. Almost all of his friends contacted us throughout the week. Some new, some many decades old, some lifelong, including his family. Dad was also a great friend to me. He personally helped me through many hard times, tough breakups, deep sadness when I lived alone on the West Coast, tough breakups, my struggles with gambling, that puppy Jack getting sick, tough breakups. I always say comedy, you do it in 3s. You get the point. He was always there for me, and I know he was there for many of you. But of all of these things, the crazy hair, the ugly toes, the big ears, the stubbornness, the type A personality, the love of food, the sarcasm, and the big heart, they all pale in comparison to this one. Loving to laugh and loving to make people laugh. Funny, clever, witty, sharp. When people say you have that Detory sense of humor, they're talking about Dad. He always managed to have a new joke I'd never heard before. A sharp reply that I wasn't ready for. He could turn a phrase and make a pun that would make you moan and inspire awe at the same time. Since Thursday, we have heard many great things about my dad. Many. But number one, by far, is that he made people laugh. If you knew him, you had a story about something that he said that made you bust a gut. We learned from our dad how much laughter can help you get through things. He did things like this. On Friday, the day after he passed, we were literally laughing till we peed. And I'm using literally correctly. I'm sorry, Lisa, I had to tell you. For many, laughter is the best medicine. In our family, It's chemotherapy. We use it viciously and relentlessly and in very, very high doses. A lot of who I am comes from a lot of different places. But having a lot of humor in my life every day is 100% from my dad. And I'm so thankful that he left that for me. And I am so proud, as he was and all of us, to carry that humor on for him. But the most important thing my dad taught me is that I can't take life too seriously, and that I can't take myself too seriously. And really, how could I? Look at these ears. I love you, Pop.